Hello, welcome to Asset channel. I want to appreciate all my Global Assets family. God bless you for your continuous support. Thank you, followers. Thank you, friends. Thank you, families, for continually following me. I want to say thank you. Okay. So today we are going straight to the business of the day. We're going to be talking about the most recent update from the immigration minister or from the immigration office with regard to the international students cap in Canada. As we all can recall, on the 22nd of January 2024, everybody were just doing their own thing when suddenly we heard the drastic news of how Canada henceforth from 22nd of January 2024 is going to be capping students for 2 years, and then they're going to review to see how that was effective, how that made the life of international students in Canada better, or did it make it worse? Should we continue with it? Are we going to go back to our previous way of doing it? So this is not a fixed law. It is just a trial, and they said by the end of 2 years they will review it. But that being said, that didn't go well with a lot of people, because you can imagine people who have been planning for their lives saying that, oh, 2024 is my year. I'm going to apply as a student to go to Canada with my family. Their hope, their aspiration were just dashed with one statement. So that's been really chaotic for a lot of people, and it's been so devastating. I must tell you, a lot of people have been reaching out to me, and even me, I didn't even know what to say until this clarification came, because you don't want to give people information that are not reliable. That would be misleading people, and I don't like to do that. So as at 5th of February, the immigration office, or the immigration arm of Canadian government, they decided to enlighten or clarify the public more, because there's been a lot of demand to know why, to know how, to know where to go from there, where to go from the statement. After the statement was made, what next? Because there weren't even clarity. So they came out to clarify their statement, and you will see me occasionally looking away from the camera. It's just because I want to give you the information just the way it is. Okay, I don't want to give you false information or adulterated information. Okay, so the government made four major explanation, made further explanation concerning 4 major changes. One of it is that if you, because a lot of people have been like, okay, I applied before January 22nd, so what's going to happen to my application? So the government has now come out to say, if your application went before January 22nd, that means you applied 20th, you applied 21st, or even 22nd of January. If your application reached the immigration officers before 8:30 on the 22nd of January 2024, you'll be exempted from that provincial authorization letter. So if you fall into this category, please don't bother yourself anymore. It's now clarified that you do not need a provincial attestation letter to apply. So your application will not be returned to you, because it went before the news or the information came. So, but however, going forward, this is now a requirement. This is now a requirement. It is now a requirement that before you can apply as a student for any visa, as a student to Canada, you will now need a provincial letter, attestation letter from whichever province you'll be studying in at. Okay, right. So the second one is, like I said earlier on, the government have their own reasons The reason they stated was to ensure that all provinces are accountable for students under them, while the government continue to be the watchdog over the province, right? So they want to be sure that the province, the amount of students and each province is admitting into their province is well taken care of. Not just flooding a particular province and nothing to look after the student. No accommodation, nothing, no housing. So yeah, it's been chaotic for some students, especially those in Ontario. So the government wants to be sure that life is easy for international students. Studying in itself and working to make money, you are studying, you are making money to pay your fees, is a lot of stress in itself. So coming here to add more stress, additional stress, it's not good for people's mental health. So that's what the government is trying to avoid. Okay, so the second one is who is eligible. Okay, if you applied before 22nd, you won't be required to have to bring provincial authorization letter. So who now needs authorization letter? So number one is most post-secondary students will permit applicant. So if you are a post-secondary student, you want to come and study post-secondarily in Canada, you will need provincial authorization letter. Okay, most non-graduating program, non-degree graduating program, if you are going to do a non-degree like certificate program or graduate diploma program, you will be required to provide a provincial authorization letter henceforth. Okay, and university undergraduate program, maybe you are doing an undergraduate program, you will be required to provide a provincial authorization letter. So those that are exempted, the ones that are eligible for it, I just stated. So who are now exempted? Who are the people that will now be exempted from this authorization letter? Number one on the list is primary and secondary school students, or as they may call it here in Canada, elementary or high school students. They will be exempted from provincial authorization letter. So this answered the question that a lot of people have been asking me: can I bring my kids to Canada if I'm coming in as a student? So the question is a clear yes. You can bring your kids to Canada to study as a student. The government hasn't said that you cannot bring your children to study. When you are studying, you cannot bring your children. As far as I understand the new update and the previous information that was passed, you can bring your student and you can bring your children. You can bring your children while you are a student here, while you are studying here as a student, and you won't be needing, or your children won't be needing, provincial attestation letter because they are apparently under you. And when I say student, that means children who are under age. They are not full-grown adults yet. Okay, so those, apparently he mentioned it clearly in his first statement, those that are studying masters. If you are coming to Canada to study masters or do a PhD program, you won't be required to provide provincial attestation letter. So you just go ahead and put in your application for visa. You're not required to put in or to bring provincial attestation letter. Okay, so if you are also a visiting student, what a visiting student means is, for example, I am studying any course at Oxford University in UK, or in Oxford University in Manchester, or at the University of Sunderland in England, and I decided to come to Canada because my university in UK is affiliated to a certain school in Canada. So let's say my school is affiliated to University of Saskatchewan, and I have this, I can do this program change within a period of 6 months or 1 year. I won't be required to provide a provincial attestation letter because there's an affiliation between my school in Sunderland or between my school in Manchester and the University of Saskatchewan. That's just an example, okay? So if you fall into that category, you won't require any provincial attestation letter. And of course, your country must be a country that does not need visa to come to Canada. It's not all countries that can have that affiliation to schools in Canada, okay? So now, all other, like I said previously, every other person that applied, that put in their application before 8:30 a.m. Canadian time on the 22nd of January 2024, they will not be required. They are not eligible. They won't be required to provide provincial attestation letter. So they are exempted. Okay. Okay. Now, I told you there is good news to this part of the news. Even though it's sad for some people, to some, there is good news. So remember, the government made mention of it. Mark Miller, the immigration minister, made mention of it that in weeks to come, they were going to make a change to how many years work permit that students will be entitled to. So he made that statement on the 5th of February. So as from February 15th, so if you are studying now, as from February 15th, if you apply for a postgraduate work permit, you'll be eligible to 3 years work permit. So that's the good side of it. And who are eligible for this long work permit? It's not all students. It's not all students that are eligible for this long work permit. So if you are a graduate of master's program, you are eligible for a 3 years postgraduate work permit. Or you are a PhD student that just graduate, then you are eligible for this 3 years work permit. Or master's student 1 year plus, master's program less than 1 year, right? 2 years in length of program, 2 years diploma, 2 years diploma or bachelor, you will be eligible for a 3-year post-work graduate. So some people are not eligible, like I told you, some people are not eligible for these 3 years. And the people that are not eligible, sadly, are people who are doing 1 year certificate program or diploma. It does not mean that they are not totally eligible for a postgraduate work permit. What it just means is that they won't be eligible for a 3 years postgraduate work permit. So they will be eligible to just 1 year work permit, postgraduate work permit. They won't be eligible for a 3-year work permit. Okay, so now the next clarification he made is about private and private public/private affiliated school. So what that means is, before now, in Canada, the public schools would give affiliation to some private schools. That is, they will tell this private school, yes, you can use our certificate. You can use this certificate to bring international students. And once they are done, then they will also be eligible to a work permit. So now the government has taken that privilege from these schools, because these are some of these reasons why the government decided to change this rule or this law. The reason this came into effect is because some of these private schools, they've abused the privilege that the government gave to them. They bring in students beyond their capacity. Imagine having a student in having like 50 or 100 students in a room where 30 or 20 students are supposed to be studying. So that being said, the government has not taken that privilege from them. They can no longer issue postgraduate work permits. They can no longer issue postgraduate work permit. Please, if you are coming in as a student and you want to gain Canadian work experience, or you want to transit from being a student into being a permanent resident, please be very careful and look out for those schools who are not eligible for a postgraduate work permit. I think the government did say that they're going to stop them totally, but some of them are still operating. And just as a means of clarification, if you already in this school and your studies are ongoing, this will not affect you. You will definitely get a postgraduate work permit. But after now, any student that apply to these schools, they will not be eligible for a postgraduate work permit. And I hope the government acts quickly, because not everybody that have this knowledge about how to know the schools that are not eligible to offer or to give postgraduate work permit. Okay. The biggest one is the spousal work permit. You know, before now, if you come in as a student, you can bring in your spouse, and your spouse will have open work permit. That means it can work anywhere and be supporting you while you are doing your own studies. Your spouse is working, your children are in school. So it was actually a good thing. It was just like you buy one, you get two free, because most elementary students here, so long as their parents are legal in this country, their school fees is nothing. They don't get to pay anything. Just now and then they might ask you to just pay like a few amount of dollars just for supplies, but other than that, you don't pay school fees. So it was really good that their children could be going to school, their husbands be working or their wives be working. But as after now, that's not going to happen anymore. And so, you know, when the government made their clarification on February 5th, they still have not told anyone a definite date to say, as from this date, no more spousal open work permit. They just said that any student that is doing like a diploma or any course that is not master's related, will in time to come, in future, will not be able to bring their husbands or their spouse or their wives or their husbands. But the date, they have not said with effect from today, or with effect from February 5th, or with effect from January 22nd. So my candid advice to you right now is gather all your things. If you are eligible to apply, if you have what it takes to apply as a student, you have the fund, you have the document, please apply now. Because if you apply right now, as I'm talking to you now, you apply, your spouse will still be eligible for that spousal open work permit. The reason is because the date has not been announced to say with effect from today. They said we will hear from them in consequent weeks. When is that consequent week? Is it going to be in May? Is it going to be in September? Is it going to be even next year? We don't know. So my candid advice is, please act very fast. If you have a bank account that was already running before the information that I stated you, please don't touch that money. Continue to build your account and apply fast, so that your husband or your wife can still be eligible for that spousal open work permit. So I hope this has answered some of the questions. If you have any further questions, please put them on the comment section. And like I said, any update I'll bring your way. So that's the reason you have to subscribe to this channel. I have over 10,000 subscribers. Sorry, I have over 755 subscribers. Of all those 755 subscribers, only 10% are subscribed to this channel. Abba, it's not nice now. It's not nice. Only 10%. The other 90% will just watch and they will just go. I appreciate you watching. I also need that watch hours. But please subscribe. It just encourages me to do more. It's not easy to make a video, edit it, and make sure that I live up to your expectation. Please encourage me. Subscribe, like, share, and watch, please. I'm pleading. I beg, make una help una sister. Okay, so once more, I want to appreciate you all. I can't underrate your support. I just want more. I'm just acting as Oliver Twist, and that is asking for more, that asked for more. I'm asking for more. Please subscribe so that whenever I load up my video, you will be one of the first to be notified. And that way, you will not lose out on any side. Once more, thank you. And please don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Dreams come true. Continue to push for it. There are other ways you can come to Canada. If you cannot afford paying for your school fees, there are several other ways you can come to Canada. Stay tuned, and I wish you all the best. Good luck. See you in my next video. Bye. Together always. I wish I